Hi everyone, this is Sturp, and today's video is all about book mail that I received tonight. It is about 10:30 p.m. I just got home from my uncle's retirement party, had a lot of fun, and I came home to this book mail. I listened to InkHeist podcast on my way to work. If you are not listening to InkHeist, as Shane Keene would say, unfuck that right now and start listening, because you're missing out on amazing interviews with horror writers, on the best of the best with everything horror related. In the latest episode with Shane and Rich, so Shane Keene, Rich Duncan, they're the ones who host this podcast, and they normally interview horror writers. In their latest interview, they just chat with each other. So they're not interviewing anybody. They're just talking to one another and kind of interviewing each other. It's pretty amazing because we hear about what they're into, what they're loving, what they're passionate about, their projects. They both said that in their top 10 books of all time, I want you to think about for one moment what your top 10 books of all time are. Like, that's kind of epic. I don't even know what my top 10, I'd have to sit there and actually think about it. What are your top 10 books of all time? Not even in genre, just of all time. And this is the book that they named. They said that Mr. White by John C. Foster is one of their books of all time. I haven't read this book. This book came in tonight. I got home from my uncle's party and this was at my doorstep, and I grabbed it and like touched the package and I knew what it was, and it's book mail, and I am so excited. Because Shane Keene and Rich Duncan of InkHeist said this is in their top 10 of all time, I immediately bought it. I just believe them. I trust them because they're awesome like that. I got your back. I'm going to read the back to y'all, and not only that, the inside has some gems. It really does. And if you don't realize it has some gems, that's okay, because I'm going to help you to realize that there are some quotes in here by John F.D. Taff and by Paul Tremblay. Buckle up, embrace the evil, but do not speak his name like Candyman. In the shadowy world of international espionage and governmental black ops, when a group of American spies go bad and inadvertently unleash an ancient malevolent force that feeds on the fears of mankind, a young family finds themselves in the crosshairs of a frantic, supernatural mystery of global proportions, with only one man to turn for their salvation. Combine the intricate plot-driven stylings of suspense masters Tom Clancy and Robert Ludlum, add a healthy dose of Clive Barker's dark and brooding occult themes, and you have an idea of the horrifying world of supernatural espionage that the chilling novel Mr. White will reveal. John C. Foster's Mr. White is a terrifying, genre-busting suspense shocker that answers the questions that should never be asked. Who is Mr. White? Based off of the description on the back, I think this is definitely cross-genre-y, right? Like thriller, horror. I'm really excited about it. This is going to teach me a lot, because my current work in progress is all about thriller meets horror. So I'm writing a book all about a cult. However, there are some supernatural elements. There's cult elements and then supernatural. I think that it just needs to happen more often, the cross-pollination of horror genres and horror subgenres. Let's look at the gems here. John F.D. Taff says, and if you do not know who John F.D. Taff is, then as again Shane Keene says, unfuck that right now and go Google it. Or Twitter it. John F.D. Taff. Mr. White is like Stephen King's The Stand meets Ian Fleming's James Bond with Graham Masterton's The Manitou thrown in for good measure. It's frenetically paced, spectacularly gory, and eerie as hell. Highly recommended! Exclamation mark. Josh Malerman, Bird Box, ring a bell, says, the most thrilling thing about Foster's sweeping thriller Mr. White is how well it's written. If the idea is to put powerful words to paper, then Foster does that. And if the idea is to then use those words to pulley up walls around a willing reader, trapping him or her in the world of Mr. White, Foster does that too. Last, but definitely not least, is Mr. Paul Tremblay. I'm gonna admit I've only read one book by Paul Tremblay, and that is The Cabin at the End of the World. I know he's written many other books, and I plan to read more of them because I've been hearing so much about his books on InkHeist, like A Head Full of Ghosts. I've heard about it, I haven't read it, but it's on my list. Absolutely. I've just been hearing so many good things. So I read The Cabin at the End of the World. I will leave a link in the description below because I did a book review on it. In the video of my book review, I say that it is the best book I've read this year. It really is. It's anxiety in written form, in words. Paul Tremblay says, John C. Foster's Mr. White is a lightning-paced, globe-trotting mashup of espionage, adventure, and truly disturbing occult horror. Fun and nasty in all the right places. Oh, you gotta love that. Fun and nasty in all the right places. I got home from a party. I danced, I chilled. But let me tell you, the highlight of my evening is this book mail. I'm so excited. I've never read anything by John C. Foster. I'm just admitting it. I'm not gonna lie. I've never read anything by him, and I'm super stoked because Rich, Duncan, and Shane Keene of InkHeist said this is in their top 10 of all time. And Rich and Shane, you better live up to it. I'm gonna read this. And if it's not in my top 10, you're in trouble. Then I'm gonna call you out. Super stoked. Look forward to it. And watch out for the book review. I do a blog written review as well as a YouTube video review. So look out for both. So I will definitely read this in the next few weeks. I'm writing, I'm editing, I'm reading. I mean, there's so much to do and so little time. Thank you so much, InkHeist. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Gray Matter Press. Let's not leave them out. So Gray Matter Press, they are the publishers. There you go, right there, Gray Matter Press. All right, I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. It is Saturday at 10:45 at night now, 11 p.m. at night, and this is what I'm excited for.